To say time flies is an understatement. Just ask any of these surviving foot soldiers. They remember the march 50 years ago like it was yesterday.
I got a babysitter for my kids, and I said, I'm going down to the march. And I took a bus down and went down there by myself.
It was a lot of unexpected stuff, because you didn't know what you were going into or what the outcome was going to be.
This granite memorial located at the corner of Clay and Calvert Streets in Annapolis is the only one in the country dedicated to the 250,000 everyday citizens that came from all over the country to march for equality and then took that message back to their communities. 81-year-old Henry Crossan remembers catching a bus from Annapolis to Washington. That day made a huge difference on his life, and today he came to mark the occasion with his entire family, including grandson Quentin.
To be there to hear, I had a dream. And we, not only to hear that we had a dream, but to carry a dream with you and take a dream away with you. But that was a joyful and a meaningful, peaceful relationship.
Coming up in school and seeing all that in the history books, and to knowing that I'm a direct connection to that, it's kind of like I'm really awestruck, and I'm just humbled to be able to be a link of, just the ashes of what's already been done.
My own family were very racist, and I just wasn't. I didn't ever saw the color of anybody, and that's the way I am today.
Signs of age are only visible through canes and wheelchairs because these young at heart foot soldiers say it's up to the younger generation to be the keeper of the flame.
And yes, he would be pleased, Dr. King, of the progress that we've made, but he would not be satisfied.
The storm has definitely left a mark on this area with plenty of down power lines and trees that have fallen all over. We've been driving around and seen plenty of them, and you just gotta say, yikes, wow. Every single time you see the damage like this tree here on Ludlow Drive and Acton Road in Temple Hills, take a look at the bottom of that tree, completely uprooted out of the ground, and it has fallen across the entire road. We'll show you that, which means that no traffic can get through, so that's a problem. In addition to that, it brought down the power line, so you can probably see the crews right back there trying to get power back on to the folks on the other side of the tree. Also, clearly, take a look at the damage that it did to the cars that it fell on here in this homeowner's driveway. The back of the red car there completely busted out and damaged, and other problems that it has caused there. We talked with the homeowner about what he thought when he heard a big old thud early this morning.
We were asleep, and about 1:30 this morning we heard the big boom, and as soon as I heard the boom I knew what it was. So it was a tree. I just like, who did it hit this time? So I came out and turned the lights on, and sure enough, a tree from across the street, which we had kind of been expecting for a year or so. So it happens a lot in this area.
Did it scare you when you heard the boom this morning?
Shook us up. Like I said, we're used to it. It happens a lot due to the crazy weather and the fact that this is a very woody area.
Interestingly enough, even with the tree in his yard, Mark James did not lose power, but for the folks on the other side who did, you can see Pepco behind me working to restore electricity for them. Meantime, with more snow expected and on the way, the agency is reminding people to have an emergency storm kit ready, and it should include things like batteries, flashlights, anything in terms of medication if you need it, and so forth and so on. You can always log on to their website for more details on that and more preparation tips. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
This is what it looks like when teenagers text and drive. And while this is a simulation, it happens every day.
It is very scary, and some of them drive really quickly and think, okay, I can hurry up and send a yes or send an okay, and I will still be okay. It's not at all. So I advocate to them, like, put the phone down. It can wait.
Students at Duval High School got behind the wheel of the simulator to get a real-life feel for texting and driving and just how dangerous it can be.
It's like a big wake-up call in a small way, because they don't really show you like what happens to the passenger or the person who's driving the car. But it's a big accident. Something so small can actually impact your life in a really big way.
The simulator is part of AT&T's It Can Wait campaign to encourage teens to stay off their phones when they're driving.
They get the hands off the wheel, eyes off the road experience that you do when you really are texting and driving. You know, the simulator operates just like a real car. It has a gas and a brakes and steering wheel. And they're using a phone that's attached to simulate those real text messages.
So I'm going to try this myself and see exactly how hard it is to text and drive. Let's go. I didn't get very far at all. All right, so I didn't even get to do the text. I already got in trouble and ran a red light.
LaTara Harris lost her nephew when a young speeding driver struck his car. Now she's taking on the issue as a regional director with AT&T.
I mean, it's a devastating loss for us, clearly. Any loss is devastating. But, you know, I've really committed myself to raising awareness about driving and making sure that people are keeping their eyes on the road.
Principal Alice Swift Howard says the challenge is convincing teens who don't think anything bad will happen to put the phone down.
The cellular devices that, you know, for the student, that's just like a book or a pen or a pencil. And so we need for them to be aware and raise their awareness that those actions can cause greater harm than they really think about.
Darcy Spencer, CTV News.
During Lent, I was always taught that the most meaningful thing one could do was to give something up.